Welcome to my Shorts Megamix. I hope you enjoy. I made this so you don't have to watch every one of my shorts to get all the content.
Tom found the doll at a garage sale, its glassy eyes and crooked smile perfect for scaring his girlfriend Emma. He tucked it into the back of the closet, eager to see her reaction. That night, Emma was unnerved by a whispering voice calling her name from the closet. She opened the door, finding the doll now seated in the middle of the floor, its head turned to face her. Tom laughed. "I got you so good," said Tom. Over the next few days, objects in their house started moving on their own, lights flickering, doors slamming shut. Emma insisted they get rid of the doll, but Tom was too curious. One evening, he caught a glimpse of the doll in the mirror, its face now twisted into a malevolent grin. In the dead of night, Tom woke to find the doll sitting on his chest, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. It whispered, "You should have been more careful with me," Tom screamed, then was swallowed by the darkness as the doll's smile grew wider, devouring the last remnants of his sanity. In the heart of a dense, moonlit forest, Robert wandered, desperate to find his way out. The trees seemed alive, shifting and contorting as if mocking his every step. His compass spun wildly, the path he thought he knew kept vanishing, only to reappear twisted and unfamiliar. The laughter of children echoed around him, chilling and dissonant, growing louder with each step. He called out, but no response came, only the mocking giggles of unseen children. His flashlight flickered and died, swallowed by the suffocating darkness. As Robert stumbled blindly, the trees closed in, their branches twisting into gnarled, skeletal hands reaching out to him. He ran, the laughter growing ever nearer, until he tripped and fell. He looked up, eyes wide with terror, as the trees parted, revealing a clearing filled with spectral children. Robert's scream was swallowed by the darkness as the forest consumed him, leaving only the eerie laughter. Evan went to the circus the last night they were open. After the carnival left town, Evan noticed a clown lingering near his house. The clown's painted smile was unsettling, and Evan felt uneasy. That night, the power cut out, plunging his home into darkness. Strange noises came from outside, soft tapping, followed by the distant sound of a honking horn. Evan walked through his house and saw the female clown he had seen at the circus in his doorway waving, terrified. Evan called 911. They arrived swiftly, their flashlights sweeping the perimeter. They found nothing until one officer checked under Evan's bed. There, hidden in the shadows, was the clown, clutching a knife, eyes gleaming with a sinister delight. Evan's blood ran cold as the officers dragged the clown away. She screamed, "You will be mine." A lingering chill of the clown's twisted grin stayed with him long after the nightmare ended. "I remember trembling as I told Sarah I loved her." Her eyes widened in shock, and she said she didn't feel the same way. "Heartbroken, I went home and, in a fit of despair, crafted a voodoo doll of her. I drove the needle into its tiny heart, hoping to ease my pain." The next day at school, the news hit me like a punch. Sarah had suffered a heart attack. My stomach churned with guilt. I could hardly breathe, realizing the cruel twist of fate. Was it my actions, my bitterness, that led to this? The doll lay forgotten, its needle stained, while I was left with a heavy, haunting silence. Had I killed the one I loved? I am unsure, but I will never make another, and I may never love again. Jason, craving a break from city life, set up camp deep in the woods, eager to sleep under the stars. As night fell, he noticed a shadowy figure moving among the trees. The sensation of being watched grew stronger, sending chills down his spine. Trying to stay calm, Jason hid behind a large boulder, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The rustling grew closer, and his fear surged. He bolted for his car, fumbling with the keys. As he glanced back, he saw the figure clinging to a tree, its eyes glowing a sinister red. Jason's heart pounded as the figure's gaze seemed to pierce through him. He locked the doors and sat trembling in the darkness, the eyes in the woods still watching, unblinking and malevolent. Jason trembled as he started his car and drove away a new fear and respect for the forest within him. Jake spotted a great deal on a bike on Facebook Marketplace and arranged to meet the seller, Mark, at a secluded park. When he arrived, Mark greeted him with a friendly smile and led him to a van, saying it was where it was stored. As Jake was inspecting the bike, Mark suddenly lunged at him, revealing a menacing look. Jake, quick thinking, pretended to be knocked out, collapsing to the ground. Mark, believing he had succeeded, hurriedly tried to drag Jake into the van. Jake's reached in his pocket. With a swift, unnoticed move, he activated his emergency alert. As Mark struggled with the door, Jake's phone pinged his location to the authorities. Hearing sirens in the distance, Mark panicked and fled, leaving Jake behind. Moments later, police arrived and found Jake, who was already on his feet and safe. They quickly tracked down Mark, thanks to Jake's alert, and apprehended him. Jake walked away shaken but relieved, thankful for his quick thinking and the timely arrival of help. Sarah sank into the warm, frothy bathwater, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. The bathroom was dim, lit only by the flickering light of a single candle. The rhythmic dripping of the faucet was the only sound breaking the silence. Shadowy figures stood just outside the door, watching. With a cold, deliberate motion, they pushed the door open. The creak masked by the dripping water. Sarah, lost in her own world, didn't notice until it was too late. A gloved hand reached through the water, and before she could react, a sharp pain pierced her side. The warmth of the water turned red, spreading slowly as her strength ebbed. Panic surged, but the figure's grip was unyielding. As her breath grew shallow and the candlelight flickered ominously, Sarah's vision blurred. In her final moments, she saw the shadowy figure lean closer, grinning. As her consciousness faded, the room was once again filled with the gentle, unbroken sound of dripping water.
In the desolate stretch of the Mojave Desert, Tom awoke to the relentless heat pressing down on him. His heart pounded against his ribs as he realized he was trapped in the trunk of his own car. He had been robbed, left for dead by a stranger whose only intent was to strip him of his belongings. With every passing minute, the desert's suffocating heat seeped through the thin metal, amplifying his misery. He tried to scream, but the sound was swallowed by the barren land outside. Sweat poured from his body, mingling with tears of panic. As the sun blazed mercilessly, Tom's consciousness wavered, his breaths became shallow gasps, and his vision blurred. He clung to the fleeting hope of rescue, but the desert remained silent, indifferent. As darkness enveloped him, Tom's final thoughts were of the cruel irony that in a place so empty, he had been utterly alone.
Tired from a long week, Emily accepted a drink from a charming stranger at the bar. He suggested they continue the evening at his hotel. She agreed, intrigued but hazy from too many cocktails. Hours later, she woke with a start, shivering violently. Her surroundings were disorienting. She was submerged in a bathtub filled with ice, her body aching. Her torso was wrapped in sticky, blood-soaked gauze. Panic surged as she noticed a note smeared on the bathroom wall, "Welcome to your real night out. Let's see how long you last." The bathroom door creaked open, and the stranger's sinister laugh filled the room. He appeared, his face twisted with a cruel smile. "Did you really think the night was over?" he taunted, holding a menacing, bloodied knife. Emily's scream echoed as she struggled against the icy water, her mind racing with terror and desperation. The real nightmare was just beginning.
I hope you enjoyed Shorts Megamix number 2. And remember, don't shoot the messenger.